number of COVID-19 cases continues to rise globally and right here in Guyana. Therefore, we encourage everyone to practice social distancing. Wear a mask if you have to leave your homes and wash your hands thoroughly and frequently as we strive to stop the spread of the virus. Welcome to InfoHub for Thursday, August 6th. Thanks for joining us. A batch of young Guyanese is leading the way in what could be the youngest cabinet ever, as His Excellency President Mohamed Irfan Ali on Wednesday appointed 90 new ministers to serve Guyana over the next 5 years. Here's our first story.
The new team includes newcomer 33-year-old Suzanne Rodrigues, who was appointed minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water. She will serve under 41-year-old Colin Crowell, a former parliamentarian in the 11th Parliament.
This is very encouraging not only for the young people within our party and within government, but young people in Guyana generally, that they can see that, there is potential out there, and as long as you work hard and you're committed, that you can become anything you want.
Minister Rodrigues said she stands ready to deliver to all Guyanese. 37-year-old attorney Sonia Parag, another young professional, was sworn in as Minister of Public Service.
Going into that ministry, of course, that's new for me. So obviously, I will have quite a bit to research before I can move ahead with certain goals of mine. So the first thing is to look into a meeting with the staff, then move on maybe to the training division and also have a meeting there. And then we take it from there. We take it day by day until we can have progress.
36-year-old Charles Ramson Jr. received his instrument of appointment to serve as Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport. An attorney as well, Ramson Jr. also recently obtained a master's degree in oil and gas management. Then there is University of Guyana's Assistant Dean in the School of Entrepreneurship and Business Innovation, Todd, who was appointed Minister of Foreign Affairs. Todd takes the helm of that ministry at a time when Guyana is still defending its border against neighboring Venezuela.
We need to start rebuilding our international image. So our international diplomacy will be a priority for us. Added to that, we'll have to work on our economic cooperation, rebuilding our ties, stimulating investment, and we have a lot of plans in store.
New Amsterdam native 40-year-old Vikram Bharat, who also served in the 11th Parliament, has been elevated to the post of Minister of Natural Resources. Another newcomer, Unej Waldron Alikok, also took the oath of office today. The attorney will serve as Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce. For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Meantime, the newly appointed ministers of the PPPC administration have hit the ground running, beginning their tenure by meeting with the staff of their respective ministries. Minister of Education, the Honorable Priya Manikchand, Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, the Honorable Charles Ramson Jr., Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, the Honorable Unej Waldron Alikok, and Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Frank Anthony, were among those who met and interacted with their staff. More staff meetings are anticipated for the remainder of this week into the new week as the ministers settle into their positions. Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Frank Anthony, has indicated that under his leadership, the Health Ministry will be revamping the nation's COVID-19 response while ensuring adequate supplies are provided to frontline workers. Details in this report.
Shortly after being sworn in on Wednesday, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony said one of his immediate actions as minister is to provide a more coordinated response to the COVID-19 pandemic locally. Based on his early assessment, he noted that the previous government's approach was disjointed, hence he is seeking to address this.
What we found that it was also disjointed. And when I started asking for what are the plans, how you're doing, what you're doing, and so forth, I found different agencies had different plans. Nothing was in sync. They weren't coordinated. And so that's a major problem.
The minister said due to this, the response to the pandemic thus far has been ineffective.
One of the things that we'll have to look at is how we bring a new structure that is more responsive to the pandemic and make sure that there's participation from various ministries and sectors who want to get involved with the response to the epidemic and the country as a whole.
In addition, Dr. Anthony noted that frontline workers have not been adequately supplied with protective equipment while testing kits and other items are limited. This will be corrected with efforts already put in place. Minister Anthony assured that revamping the COVID-19 response is a main priority of the PPPC government. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
His Excellency President Mohammed Irfan Ali has appointed a special technical team comprising public communications consultant Mr. Christopher Kit Nascimento, chartered accountant and attorney at law Mr. Christopher Ram, certified public accountant Mr. Nigel Hines, and financial consultant Mr. Sesnarayan Singh to immediately conduct a rapid financial and management assessment of several agencies. These include the Guyana Power and Light, the Guyana Water Incorporated, Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, the Central Housing and Planning Authority, the Guyana Gold Board, and the Guyana Forestry Commission, among others. The team will also be conducting a review of the operations, policies, and programs of the Department of Public Information, DPI, the National Communications Network Incorporated, NCN, and the Guyana National Newspaper Limited, Guyana Chronicle. The team will further address the matter of the functions of the Guyana Broadcasting Authority, GNBA. Kellon Rover tells us now that preparations are going smoothly at the National Cultural Center for the inauguration of the 9th Executive President of Guyana, His Excellency Mohammed Irfan Ali. Let's take a look.
The inauguration ceremony for Guyana's 9th Executive President, His Excellency Mohammed Irfan Ali, will be held at the National Cultural Center on Saturday. The preparations for this historic event are ongoing. The program is expected to begin at 10 a.m. Reporting from the National Culture Center with videographer Mehindaraj, I am Kellon Rover for InfoHub.
More news after this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The health and safety of the nation's teachers and students are top on the Ministry of Education's priority list as the new school year approaches. More in this report from Natisha Isaacs.
Newly appointed Minister of Education Honorable Priya Manikchand explained that while schools should have been preparing for reopening in early September, the ministry will be looking at the science, data, and the realities of Guyanese children and their families to determine the best course forward. Minister Manikchand noted that the PPPC administration's focus is to balance its duty to keep Guyanese safe while allowing students their constitutional right to an education.
The thing of paramount importance right now is going to be what we do when schools should have been reopened. Do we open? And if we open, how do we keep our children and our teachers and their families safe? Do we not open? And if we don't open, then how do we continue to engage our children?
Reopening schools is not a one-size-fits-all approach. Therefore, the Education Ministry is looking at global best practices, taking into account Guyana's current education system.
It's never going to be easy. We're going to make sure we use science and medicine and the statistics at hand and the stories around Guyana to determine what to do. Like every other country, it's not going to be an easy question to face. But I think important is that we get out information to our parents and teachers.
COVID-19 may be the primary focus of the ministry, but the minister is keen on addressing other priority areas during her tenure. Natisha Isaacs for InfoHub.
The Civil Defense Commission on Wednesday evening received a large quantity of medical supplies to aid the country's COVID-19 fight. The donation, which was made at the Chedi Jagan International Airport, was a collaborative effort of CARICOM, the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, and the World Health Organization. Gavin Lewis has the details.
Director General of the Civil Defense Commission, Lieutenant Colonel Kester Craig, noted that the medical supplies will be used to enhance the national COVID-19 response efforts.
We are very grateful for this supply at this time. I think it's very timely. I must take the opportunity on behalf of the government and the citizens of Guyana to thank those agencies, SIDEMA, United Arab Emirates, CARICOM, and all the other agencies that make this possible so that Guyana can benefit from these supplies. These supplies will now be handed over to the Ministry of Public Health, and they'll be distributed as necessary in the fight to reduce the impact of COVID-19.
The Director General noted that combating COVID-19 should be a cooperative and national effort.
I think in responding to COVID-19 and any emergency and any disaster, it's not a one agency or not a government alone response. It's a national collaborative response, and we welcome donations, we welcome support from all the different stakeholders as we collectively respond to COVID-19.
Cecil Jacks, Director of the Materials Management Unit at the Health Ministry, expressed the importance of the donations in the fight against COVID-19.
See, there's a lot of test kits which will allow us to test more persons, and so it will expose the true rates of infection across the 10 regions of Guyana. Lack of testing will hide, so to speak, mask the true reality, the actual figures. So we're grateful for these test kits that will help to expose the true numbers in all the regions, especially in the hotspot regions.
With Guyana accumulating less than 5,000 health workers, Jacks highlighted that the supplies will ensure their safety.
It is important, of utmost importance, for the Ministry of Health to protect their health workers, because without our health workers, we will lose the battle.
For InfoHub, Gavin Lewis.
A single mother's dream became reality when she received cosmetology equipment to start her small business. The gesture was made possible through a collaboration of the Ministry of Human Services, the Gender Affairs Bureau, and the Humanitarian Mission Guyana Incorporated. Details from Ayana George.
Single mother Shamika Henry said she's determined to rise above poverty by using her skills to improve her life.
With the equipment that I've gotten, I'm going to start my own business. And I'm going to try to seek out clients even if I have to go house to house and do my work because of the COVID-19. I do manicure and pedicure, and also I will be doing hair.
Henry was all in smiles as she accepted her cosmetology package, which included a foot spa and dryer among other necessities for her small business. Senior Affairs Officer at the Gender Affairs Bureau, Hemwati Lagan, said the agency's mandate is to teach a man how to fish.
In addition to the business, she also wants to complete her studies and to certify herself. And also her son, who has just written the National Grade 6 examination, to enter into the secondary school in September if the COVID pandemic is over with. Whenever he's ready to enter school, should be able to provide him with his necessary textbooks, etc. So while she is doing her job or her business, she's also elevating herself and to also help her son.
The cosmetology equipment was handed over to Ms. Henry by a representative of the Humanitarian Mission Guyana Incorporated. The movement originated in New Jersey, USA, and has been implementing and supporting projects in Guyana for more than 15 years, focusing on women empowerment, domestic violence prevention, mental health awareness, and the development of small businesses. For InfoHub, Ayana George.
Remember to do your part to ensure you do not put yourself at risk during this time. If you have a cough, fever, and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early, but call the hotline first. That's all for today. Connect with us on all our social media platforms, including WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, as we bring you the latest and important news related to COVID-19 and much more. Also, subscribe to our website, dpi.gov.gy. Your Bridge Report is up next. Goodbye.